And just one more clarification thing. You're also a member of the IOC Olympic Programme Commission. I need you to tell me and everybody who's listening what that exactly is. What role is that for you?
Yeah, a very different one. Also an international role, also a volunteer role. A commission is basically a group of us from around the world. And the IOC's Program Commission is the body that's really charged with determining what sits on the program from a sport perspective. So there are three layers of that: what sports are on the program, and then the disciplines within the sports, and then the individual events. So you can think about something like aquatics, and then open water swimming, and then the 5,000 meter or the 10,000 meter would be different events. So there are layers. And as you can imagine, over 17 days of Olympic competition, you're talking about hundreds of events across, more than 30 sports and a number of disciplines. So it's quite a complicated ecosystem. And the motivation of the IOC Program Commission is always driven by creating the greatest value for the games. How do we put a product that's a great experience for athletes, that is current with what sport is around the globe, looking for, as we call it, universality, the most countries that are going to be competitive in a sport, and ensuring that there is, diversity of opportunity around the world. Also ensuring that you're focused on the younger generation and the more modern and current sports. So you've seen things like skateboarding, surfing, some of the sport climbing, some of these sports. Certainly snowboard on the winter side became a very important addition to the program. So that is the body that works on determining what's going to show up on our screens, if you will, when the games come to play.
Any sneak peek you can give us on, on pending changes? Because, I think of it, it's hard not to be ethnocentric as an American, but I think about like things I want to see, right? Like the debate on softball. And it's like, God, it's such a great TV product. I love college softball. I love, it's happening right now, the World Series and it's just one of those things where, but you also recognize who else around the world is realistically, playing. So I don't know, any sneak peeks or opinions you're willing to share on what's coming in?
You know what I'll tell you is the good news is they gather an awful lot of data. And so the decisions are made somewhat scientifically, if you will, around popularity, participation rates, universality, a huge focus. And I give the IOC a massive amount of credit on gender equality. They have now reached gender equality on the summer side and are advancing that very significantly on the winter side. So they're ensuring that as they think about what that program looks like, that the opportunities for women are the same as they are for men. We are just about to finalize the program for what will be the 2026 Milano Cortina Games for the winter. And then shortly thereafter, that this timeline is certainly not a sneak peek, it's very public, but next summer in 2023, summer 2023, we'll finalize that program for LA 28, which you can imagine is very important to all of us.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think everybody's pretty excited with World Cup and the and the Olympics summer games come to the United States. And even if you're not in the business of sports, you have to think of that as a showcase opportunity for our country. And Italy will be amazing, right? That will be pretty incredible, which I think the Winter Games need. I don't even know if I've told you this before, but we've been working with the US Ski and Snowboard Association, and I don't have to tell you the medal count is down, and and it is the premier winter sort of organizing entity, and then the games and everything with Beijing. So very hopeful that we can get the Winter Games back to a more prominent place. It's really a shame. I grew up in Alaska, so you can probably guess that the things I was paying attention to for the first 18 years of my life were the Winter Games. Interesting. Any comment on softball for the summer games?
So what's interesting is softball, as most sports are, the interesting thing to think about with softball is the male equivalent, right? As I said, there's a lot of gender equity. So softball and baseball come as a package.
Hmm.
That gets tricky based on the relative dynamics with Major League Baseball. And I will say, that's really the challenge. Number one is one of the really important criteria as you look at the Olympic program is there is no more capacity to grow the games. The footprint is monstrous. The logistics are monstrous. Right now, the Summer Games is 10,500 athletes. And then you add coaches, physical therapists, sports medicine, all of the professionals that come with that. And the footprint is really at its maximum capacity that any city could realistically host. And so as you look at the program, we're at a place now where, as I describe it, it's the closet principle, one in, one out. So if you're going to add, you also have to take away. So baseball and softball, as big team sports, you're adding an awful lot of athletes that have to come from somewhere. Tokyo made those decisions. Paris did not put baseball and softball back on the program. So softball is actually the very, very unlucky recipient of a seesaw here where they've been in, they've been out, they've been in, they've been out. Been really challenging for that sport over the course of time and will continue to be challenging. One, because of the numbers of the footprint, and two, because of the tie to baseball and just the realities of the dynamic with Major League Baseball.